Leeds United 2, Ipswich 0. Last time you were with us, Leeds had just won a corner. From that corner, ball worked to the edge of the box, and there was the Leeds captain, Liam Cooper, to pass the ball into the corner for his third of the season. Leeds are in absolute total control here, and as results stand, they're going back top of the Championship. For Ipswich, the pain just keeps coming. It's Leeds United 2, Ipswich Town 0.
We got sold all this from Shrewsbury. Oh, you'll outrun everybody, you know, and he's brilliant on the sports science. And whether or not it's been too short a period to judge it, you're right, we just haven't seen it. And I think just the feeling was that the Cowleys wasn't a different enough style of football. But I mean, at the moment, any type of winning football I think would be accepted down there. So yeah, it's a feather. It's so hard to defend my team on it. You can see I'm struggling.
Dave, that was our new friend Ben Bloom from yesterday.
It's his name ever.
It is, isn't it, great?
Yeah.
This has now turned into the Ben Bloom section of the show. In fact, I think he's going to sponsor us for the rest of the season. Yeah. Ben from the Blue Monday podcast, huge Ipswich fan, of course, and we were talking to him yesterday and saying, you know, well, what do you think's going to happen? You know, should Paul Lambert go? Do you think? Not Paul Lambert go, Paul Hurst go? And he said, well, I don't know. And then within about 10 minutes, then the news was out. Happened again with Steve Bruce. We are the kiss of death, quite frankly. Ben, you've got our vote of confidence, by the way.
How you doing, Paul? I thought you were going to sponsor me, not the other way around.
I don't know. Well, you seem to be on here more than I do.
Oh,
but it was literally, it was within minutes, wasn't it, after we spoke to you yesterday? I don't know whether the board had been listening and thought, you know what, listen to that guy. I think he's right. Let's get rid of him. What did you think?
I don't know about that. It's certainly been rumbling. And look, we don't know exactly when the decision was made, but you know what it's like, and Dave Kitson will know, is that the rumours start going, and once a decision's kind of been reached, it filters out during the day. And yes, we didn't time that call very well yesterday, did we?
Well, let me I'm going to bring Dave in on this and ask you, Dave, how many managers have you how many times have managers been sacked when you were playing for a side?
It's happened a couple of times. I think the strange thing is, now that I think about it, a couple of them have actually walked out.
Oh, really?
Which I think says more about the lads that are in the changing room than anything else. But it does ruffle feathers, and actually it's a strange one, because it actually makes players a little bit excited, because they start to think, oh, who's going to come in? And it's a fun. No player ever thinks, I might not play under the next manager.
Is that right?
They all their default setting is, I'm going to get better whoever comes in.
So it's never better the devil you know when it comes to a manager. Then?
No, absolutely not. It's a strange one. I mean, in the Ipswich situation, the context, I feel we've got to give us a little bit of context here. The run of fixtures. You know, Middlesbrough, Swansea, Queen's Park Rangers, and Leeds. I mean, that's horrible for any stretch of the imagination when you're down at that end. But then again, I guess it's like when any manager loses their job. Sometimes it's not necessarily all about the results. It's what you're seeing on the pitch, and what's been on the pitch has been, you know, anything other than acceptable.
Sure, Ben. What are you looking to the future for? Who you fancy? I mean, Paul Lambert, of course, is manager down the road. How's that going to go with the fans?
Well, apparently that's going to be announced tomorrow, and I must say the club have done a good thing, because it's Kevin Beattie's funeral just minutes ago as we spoke, and they didn't want to announce that today. So yeah, Paul Lambert's going to be in from tomorrow. Brian Klug will be caretaker manager. I'm kind of pleased with what Dave Kitson just said, because hopefully we do get that that little upsurge. Paul Lambert it's a really, really interesting one. Obviously, the big elephant in the room is he was Norwich manager for 3 years. And, you know, he appears on our radar. Norwich get relegated to the third tier, and he's there with Colchester. He wins 7-1 at Carrow Road. We're all laughing at Norwich. Then they hire him. Then he gets them promoted. Then they come to Portman Road and beat us 5-1. And then he gets them promoted again out of the Championship, and we're obviously not laughing anymore. So if we get anything near that Paul Lambert, will be very happy. But the Paul Lambert of recent years, 15th with Blackburn, 15th with Wolves, we would also take that very, very happily at this point of the season.
So I guess you're happy with this then, by the sound of things.
what else is there? Honestly, what else is there? We said yesterday we had the long in the tooth, old school pragmatic guy with McCarthy. We went for the young up and coming manager, and yeah, just everything has gone wrong. It obviously had become ridiculous. 1 win in 15 games, and sometimes you just have to take what's there at the time. And I know the owner at Ipswich gets a lot of stick, but he's probably made the right call to change it now, because you can find yourself cut adrift, and any manager, even that is coming around Christmas, what can they do? You know, there's too short a window to find anyone on loans, or if there's any money swilling around, and you know, you're looking at a heck of a run, even just to finish outside the bottom three. So what else is there? And we just have to be behind Lambert and hope we get the guy that worked his way up through Colchester and Norwich all the way up to Aston Villa.
Well, just on the ownership there, Ben. I mean, you've got a guy who's been in there for a fair while now, appointed managers. Can they all be wrong? Can all the managers be wrong?
Well, yeah, it's a perfectly valid question. And so far, you would say Keane, disaster; Jewell, disaster; McCarthy, good for the first 3 years, and then it got sour. And Hurst, the worst disaster of all of them. Unfortunately, it may not have turned out to, he may have turned out to be better than Keane or Jewell, but it just got too bad too quickly.
Law of averages says you're due a good one now.
Yeah, law of averages hasn't ever won many football matches, though, has it, Paul? So I don't. Hopefully,
help, Ben.
I know. Hopefully,
doing what I can.
Hopefully, you're right. But yes, guy on our podcast, Harry, always says owners relegate teams, and again, Dave would be better to speak to that. If it comes down from the top, that the managers are. I mean, we heard the term managerial graveyard. I really hope that's not the case, and Lambert can turn it. But 10 years there, Marcus Evans, and yes, it has been gradually down and down and down to the point where we are right now, possibly going into the third tier for the first time in 60 years.
What happens when a new manager comes in, Dave? How does everybody react to that? Because often we see that. That first game where everybody reacts, and then there's a win, and then you think, this is it, it's going to change. Yeah. Then things settle down. How do people react when a new manager comes in, and how are they usually when they come in? Do they address everybody, all the players together, take everybody aside? How have you found?
No, he comes in, he'll say his little bit, what he expects, and what he's going to do. Go out, training will be completely different to what you've been doing naturally, because they've all got their own process, and then you'll get a little spike, you'll get a reaction.
Do players try a little harder?
No, I think so, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I don't think there's any question. I think that the longer you leave a team to fall into that rut, the bigger spike you get at the other end.
Sure.
But and I can only go on when it's happened to me at Portsmouth. We changed our manager. I think I had 3 managers there, and each time it was, this is more of the same. You know, we there has to come a moment where we actually look at ourselves and say, we are not a good team. We're not playing well at all, and we don't work together. It doesn't matter who you bring in. Bring in Guardiola, it's still going to be the same. So you are going to get a little bit of spike, but I think unless there's some investment in this Ipswich team, I wouldn't expect miracles.
Ben, we're hoping for a little spike for you. Away at Millwall then tomorrow. And the good news, well, you're only 2 wins off and you're out of the relegation area. So, thank heavens for small mercies early on in the season, I guess.
Yeah, and you say about Millwall, next 2 games as well, Reading away and then Preston. It just seems all the bottom 6 or 7 are playing each other the whole time. And Dave will know as well, Reading are horrible at home. So hopefully there might be the spike game there, yeah.
Good luck, Ben. Good to speak to you. Have a great weekend,
Paul.
Blue Monday
Dave.
podcast. Thanks a lot, Ben Bloom there.
Great stuff, Ben, as always, mate. Thank you, and best of luck the weekend.
We'll need it. See you, mate.
Thanks, mate.